In part 1 of this series, we discussed the particulars of the imitation game. In brief, you are asked to imagine that there are 3 soundproof rooms containing a computer terminal connected by a local area network. The first room is occupied by an interrogator, and the other rooms are occupied by 2 participants designated A and B. One participant is male, the other is female, and the interrogator doesn't know their true gender identities. The interrogator can only guess what their true genders are by typing questions on the computer, and the goal of the participants is to convince the interrogator of their actual gender. Whew, okay. Now here is a thought experiment. Imagine that instead of 2 human beings, we replace one of the participants with a clever machine. This sort of scenario was played out in the cult classic Blade Runner, with an interrogator trying to determine whether or not the participant was a person or a replicant.
Care if I talk? I'm kind of nervous when I take tests.
Oh, just please don't move.
I'm sorry. I already had an IQ test this year. I don't think I've ever had one of these.
Reaction time is a factor in this, so please pay attention. Now answer as quickly as you can.
Sure.
1187 Hunter Varsity.
That's the hotel.
What?
Where I live.
Nice place?
Yeah, sure, I guess. Is that part of the test?
No. Just warming you up, that's all.
It's not fancy or anything.
You're in a desert, walking along in the sand when all of a
Is
sudden...
this the test now?
Yes. You're in a desert, walking along in the sand when all of a sudden you look...
What one?
What?
What desert?
Doesn't make any difference what desert. Is completely hypothetical.
But how come I'd be there?
Maybe you're fed up. Maybe you want to be by yourself. Who knows? You look down and you see a tortoise, Leon. It's crawling towards you.
Tortoise? What's that?
You know what a turtle is?
Of course.
Same thing.
I've never seen a turtle. But I understand what you mean.
You reach down, you flip the tortoise over on its back, Leon.
You make up these questions, Mr. Holden? Or they write them down for you?
The tortoise lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over, but it can't. Not without your help. But you're not helping.
What do you mean I'm not helping?
I mean you're not helping. Why is that, Leon? They're just questions, Leon. In answer to your query, they're written down for me. It's a test designed to provoke an emotional response.
Here are some questions to think about. First, a question about the video clip we just saw. Let's call this the Replicant Test. If you were in the room with the interrogator and you were trying to convince him that you are a person and not a replicant, what would you say to convince him? Second, a question about the modified imitation game, what has become known as the Turing Test. Imagine that you are the interrogator and you are trying to determine which participant is a person and which participant is a machine. To make this thought experiment as strong as possible, we should imagine, as Turing invites us to, a time where machines are much more advanced than they are now. What questions would you ask as an interrogator that would prove beyond all doubt that the participant answering your question is a person and not a machine? Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.